Hi everyone, this is Kyle with an updated Zulrah guide. I was a little choppy with the commentary last time, and the edits were non-existent. So today I just wanted to make something that's a little bit easier to follow, especially for people that still haven't done the kill or are apprehensive about the fact that you have to switch during the kill to get it done. So this is going to go over all the sections that I did in the previous video. It's just going to be edited and have a little bit more articulation to the commentary. So we're going to do gear first, and then we'll get into the fight. So I've changed up the gear a little bit since my last video because I was looking for max mage bonus because of the fact that these range items that I'm going to be using hit pretty commonly, so I'm not worried about range accuracy at the moment. So here's the mage setup. Things I switched primarily are the trickster robe and legs. I switched these in because they actually have a higher mage bonus than celestial does, due to the fact that they are dropped by a wilderness boss named Blink. It's about level 45 wilderness, and it's a multi-combat zone. Blink has 20,000 health points, so I would be careful if you are trying to go there. So we're using Trickster Robe and Legs because it provides a range and mage bonus, which coincidentally is the two combat styles that you need for the Zulrah fight. So this prevents me from having to do like a 7-way switch and now down to a 4-way switch, which is a lot more beneficial and easier to do because, you know, the more time you spend switching, the less time you get to DPS. And everyone's always going for faster time. So that was the main reason behind this switch. The other items that I'm using, for those of you that didn't watch the first guide, Celestial Hood, Best in Slot Magic bonus. We're currently at 163 with this setup. I'm running Arcane Stream Necklace for the 15% damage boost that it includes, plus the magic bonus. And then the Armadyl Battle Staff gives me my other 15% of this 30. And it also, because I'm running this spell Storm of Armadyl, it increases the speed that I cast the spell at, which is always great because even if you're splashing, you still get 2 hits per, one that you would get without running the staff. Completionist Cape is best in slot for all combat styles, so it's Tribrid, and that helps me on this fight because it's a hybrid fight. Supreme Runic Accuracy, if you have the tier unlocked, this is what I would get. If not, anything lower still helps. Any little bit of magical accuracy that you can get will help you out a lot. Eternal Boots are dropped from Cerberus, which is a boss that can be killed with range. It has a very low drop rate. It drops a crystal that you can attach to Ragefire boots, and these will be created. These are the best in slot boots. And then I switched this from last video as well. It's Seer's Ring imbued. I bought a Seer's Ring and imbued it at Mobilizing Armies. It costs 50,000 Dungeoneering tokens and 5 million coins. You can talk to the NPC there and right click and chant. And finally, General Gris's Tome, which is best in slot offhand for mage. I figured since I'm not using a two-handed staff, it'd be best to provide myself with a high mage bonus. I've been able to find higher than this, but it's not as high DPS because I'm not hitting twice as fast because I'm not using Armadyl Battle Staff. This would include Celestial Staff and Amulet of the Damned to put you about 174. I still don't have spellcasters. I'm working on that. I might get those this weekend and see where that gets me. The best in slot for this is actually Celestial Gloves, which is a +9 compared to Spellcasters +8, but nobody has them, and I haven't been able to buy any, so they've been left out for this video. Moving on to the range setup, we have a new item, Toxzil Ol, which are throne discs that you can buy on the Grand Exchange. They come from the Tazar City. They throw at a rate of about 4 ticks, I think, which is about the speed that they're thrown in RuneScape. They are very fast, and since even if they're not that accurate, you still get a lot of hits on Zulrah during the range phase, which you'll see when we cut to the actual fight. So that's why I started using these with the Unholy Book, because it does give you an offhand slot since it's not two-handed. So we're using this to give us a high range bonus. And if I accidentally miss a switch or something, this provides a little bit of mage, so if I forget or don't realize or whatever, it won't be as detrimental to miss the switch. Pegasian Boots are also a drop that you can obtain from Cerberus. After you get the crystal that it drops, you can put it on Glaven Boots and it'll turn into these. These are best in slot for range. So that's the range setup. You might have noticed it's only a four-way switch. I have the Archer's Ring Eye because that's best in slot. Obviously, you can get these as a drop from Dagonoth Kings, or you can imbue a regular one at mobilizing armies, just like the Seer's Ring Eye. So let's get into the spell and inventory setup, and then we'll get on to the fight. So, like I said, we are using Storm of Armadyl. It's a level 77 spell found in the normal spell book. I have it auto cast set because if you are having to click back and forth during the fight, it's kind of annoying. If you can do it fast enough to hit perfectly on every tick that you should be attacking, that's fine. You won't have to click this once you switch to a weapon, which you do right now. So if you switch off of this spell, like switch to your ranged item, you don't automatically select a combat style, so it'll keep auto casting until you click rapid, which is obviously the best. You can hit Zulrah from any part of the map as long as you're standing in the middle, and I recommend turning auto retaliate off because you will sometimes attack snakelings when phases change and your loadout changes. Alright, so the inventory is an overload, which you can get by making it with Herblore, or you can get it from packs in the PVM shop. These are Ceridum and Brew Flask, which are 6 doses each. These are better because they are 6 doses per one inventory slot as opposed to one food item, which heals you once. You drink 3 of these, and then you drink 1 dose of Super Restore. And with your overload, that'll set your stats back to overloaded stats after you restore them. And then finally, I have Zulrah scales at the bottom right. As I went over in the previous video, they drop every single kill of Zulrah. So collecting these is a lot easier if you have a slot dedicated to them already. Alright, I'm going to cut here and we're going to get on to the fight. Alright guys, so I'm going to be commentating now over a kill that I did at Zulrah. This is not going to be a live comm. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can talk clearly about what I'm doing and not get messed up on my switches or anything like that, because I need to focus during the kill. So to start out, you're going to tele to Zulrah using that command in the command console. You're going to switch your prayer to protect from range, which is the first thing you should use. It always starts on range phase, so you should start with protect from range. Check that your spell book is correctly set to Storm of Armadyl. Stand in the middle square of the cave and start casting Storm of Armadyl. So at the beginning of this fight, Zulrah is going to stay for a little bit longer than most phases last. I think it's about 10 attacks, and then she switches. You're going to need to do as much damage as you can here, because this is basically free damage that gets you set up for the rest of the fight. As you can see, I splashed a ton. But as soon as Zulrah goes under the water, there's going to be a chance for it to switch phases, which it does here. It switches to the Mage phase. So what I did was switch to Rigor and my throwing disc, and I switched my attack style to Rapid. You can use your function keys to switch. F3 is prayers, F1 is inventory, F5 is combat style, and F4 is your spellbook. I use those to switch things around very quickly. It's pretty much a must at Zulrah, as you can see. And at this point, I switch back with F1, switched to Mage Gear, and kept going the rest of the fight. And then you switch your Protection Prayer. You don't have to get Augury and Rigor, but they're highly recommended as they help with the splashing a lot. They are rewards from Dungeoneering, and you can buy the prayer scrolls there. So 2 things I haven't talked about yet during the fight. These snakelings over here in the corner are hitting me for range right now. The blue balls they're shooting is a ranged attack. So if you're praying Mage, you can get hit for 200 to 300 damage by those if you're not careful. You don't have to kill them, but if you have a Ring of Suffering, that helps out a lot, because they only have 10 health. The other clouds that you saw in the middle are gas clouds. As long as you move out of the way of them, they won't hit you very hard. So as long as you stay in this middle square, you should be fine. This is the melee phase of the fight. Whenever Zulrah starts swinging its tail like that, you need to move at least 2 spaces from the current one you're standing on. Otherwise, it'll hit you for 200 damage in melee, and it will stun you. There's only 2 phases of attack from the melee phase before it'll switch. So as you can see, that was a pretty quick kill. It's not too hard. There's not much to learn other than the things I've gone over today. There's always going to be new strats. People are always going to be putting out new things to try. So from what you guys can see, it's a pretty easy kill. That was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Definitely not my best kill, but it was a good example kill because you can see their splashes pretty commonly. And with the mage gear that I'm using, it's pretty rough getting that many splashes in one kill. So if you're going for records or anything, it's going to need to be a lot faster with no splashes. You're going to need to be critting all the time. So anyways, that's the fight part of the kill. So anyways, guys, that's the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section or on the forums where I'll be posting this. I'm always available in-game or on Discord to be contacted via PM. I appreciate you guys watching this, and I hope to see you in the next one.